We live in a culture that worships the natural. We look at the Olympic athlete, the world-class CEO, or the master musician, and we say, they're just gifted. But what if I told you that focusing on talent is actually a defense mechanism? When we call someone a natural, we let ourselves off the hook. We say, they have something I don't, so I don't have to try as hard. Angela Duckworth, in her groundbreaking work, Grit, calls this the talent trap. She found that while talent matters, effort counts twice. Talent times effort equals skill, and skill times effort equals achievement. Effort is the common denominator. Today, we are going to rewire your understanding of success. We aren't looking for hacks. We are looking for the psychological foundation of mental toughness, grit. Step 1, find your passion, then commit. In Chapter 4, Duckworth asks a piercing question. How gritty are you? Most people confuse passion with intensity. They think passion is the fireworks that go off when you start something new. But grit-based passion isn't a firework. It's a compass. It's a quiet, steady direction that guides you for years, not days. Passion begins with discovery, but it is sustained by development. You don't find a passion, you cultivate it. The first step to mental toughness is identifying a core interest, something you are willing to be a beginner at for a long time. The actionable step. Identify your top-level goal. This is your North Star. Every other task on your to-do list should be a means to this end. If it doesn't serve the compass, it's a distraction. Commitment isn't about working 100 hours a week. It's about staying in the same direction for 100 months. Step 2, practice with purpose. Chapter 7 reveals the most painful truth about grit. Most people practice wrong. They do what they are already good at over and over. This is naive practice. It feels good, but it leads to a plateau. Grit requires deliberate practice. This is the hallmark of the peak performer. It involves 4 specific pillars. First, a stretch goal. You focus on one tiny sub-skill you cannot do yet. Second, full concentration. You don't practice while listening to podcasts. You are 100% present. Third, immediate feedback. You need to know exactly where you failed immediately. And fourth, repetition with reflection. You do it again, but you change one thing based on the feedback. The actionable step. Find your edge. If you are a writer, don't just write. Spend 30 minutes practicing nothing but opening hooks. If you are a coder, don't just build. Spend an hour refactoring a specific logic chain. Mental toughness is the ability to seek out the thing you are bad at and stay there until you are good. Step 3, hope. Believe in your ability. What happens when you hit a wall? In Chapter 9, Duckworth discusses the psychology of hope. This isn't the "I hope things get better" kind of hope. It's the "I have the power to make things better" kind of hope. This is rooted in growth mindset. It's the understanding that your brain is plastic. Every time you struggle, your neural pathways are literally rewiring. Gritty people interpret failure as information, not an identity. They don't say, "I'm a failure." They say, "That attempt failed." The actionable step. Change your self-talk language. Move from "I can't do this" to "I can't do this on yet." This one-word shift changes your brain from a state of learned helplessness to learned optimism. Hope is the fuel that keeps the grit engine running when the road gets steep. Step 4, Seek growth-oriented mentors. Grit is not a solo sport. In Chapter 8, Duckworth looks at the wise parenting model, which applies to mentors and leaders alike. A wise mentor is supportive, but demanding. They don't just tell you, "Good job." They tell you, "This is good, but I know you can do better." You need people in your life who hold you to a higher standard than you hold yourself. The actionable step. Audit your environment. Are you surrounded by complacent supporters who validate your excuses? Or are you surrounded by wise mentors who challenge your limits? Find someone who makes you feel slightly uncomfortable about your current level of progress. Step 5. The hard thing rule. How do you build grit daily? Duckworth uses the hard thing rule. 1. Everyone must do a hard thing, something that requires daily deliberate practice. 2. You cannot quit. You cannot quit in the middle of a season, a project, or a bad day. You can only quit when the natural endpoint is reached. 3. You choose the hard thing. Grit requires autonomy. The actionable step. Choose your hard thing for the next 6 months. It could be learning a language, a physical training program, or a creative project. The goal isn't just the skill. The goal is practicing the habit of not quitting when things get difficult. Grit isn't about being a machine. It's about being an architect. It's about deciding who you want to be and having the mental toughness to stay the course until the vision becomes reality. You can't change your life until you change your mind. Today, we've started the process of upgrading your inner wiring. If this deep dive into the psychology of grit helped you, subscribe to Rewire. Join a community of people who are done with quick fixes and ready for deep mastery. Check out our previous video on the 7 habits of peak performers to learn how to manage the time you've now committed to your passion, or our other video on 5 atomic habits to rewire your belief. Stay intense. Stay calm. Rewire.